Hey, it's John Gabertatios. Thanks for tuning in and subscribing to our show. On this episode, we welcome our first guest, Shannon Stott. Shannon is an improviser based in Austin, Texas, who has been performing and teaching improv to theater students and corporate clients since 2001. On part one of this episode, we talk all about our new business, Improv, on and off the stage, a virtual improv studio providing resources to performers and non-performers so they can practice who they want to be on and off the stage. We get into what it's like to be in leadership roles in the creative industry and how to best serve our teammates in collaboration. We also give you just the right amount of woo-woo and mystical vibes, all while exploring our purpose and collaborating with others. Prepare for solid analogies and bits, folks. The Elise and John Show with Shannon Stott is coming at you right now!
All right, Shannon Stott.
That's me. That's my name. Don't wear it out, as they say.
How are you, Shannon?
I'm reading this book. Okay, so I'm reading this book called Big Magic, I believe. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she wrote Eat, Pray, Love. So that's where I am, okay? Like, don't judge me on my book choices. But this book is so great. And one of the things that she talks about is she is talking about the spirit of inspiration or the spirit of creativity and as entities. Okay. And she says this thing, like this idea, I'm not going to quote her. I don't know. I'm just reading it. But she says this thing. She's like, imagine that inspiration is wandering down, like inspiration itself. Like there's billions of little like inspiration. I don't know. She doesn't call them bunnies, but let's call them bunnies. So there are these billions of inspiration.
She should have called them bunnies. Okay. Yeah.
Billions of inspiration bunnies like hopping around in the universe. And they sort of knock on your door and they're like, hey, it's me. It's inspiration. But their job is to just be created, right? Their job is just to land on someone and be created. So if they choose you, it's not necessarily that they chose you specifically. Sometimes it is, but your job is to either say yes, please, or no, thank you. And when we say things like, when we complain about, especially if we're creatives, and when we complain about creativity or being creative or blah, whatever it is, being artists, sometimes those bunnies, they're like, fine, you don't want me around, see you later. And they pack up and leave.
Come on, hop on out of here.
Yeah, thank you.
So what were the two entities? It was inspiration and
inspiration and creativity. But I think it was mostly inspiration. But yeah, so I am reading this book and I'm finding out so much. Like it speaks to me. I'm sure it might not speak to other people, but it definitely speaks to me in a like, oh, these things, these bunnies, they don't care. They don't care if you want their idea. Like
yeah.
It's their idea and they're hopping along into your life and you can accept them or reject them if you want. Whatever. Anyway, so when you asked me how I'm doing, I'm like, I'm learning. I'm like, I'm doing great. Doggone it. Nothing matters and everything matters. I've got bunnies. Yeah. They're here. They're cool.
They come and they go.
They come and they go.
I've slammed the door in many of their faces, but it's fine.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Do you have, are you the type of artist that's like, oh man, I got this idea. I need to do it now. I gotta execute this or test drive it or something? Or are you the type of artist that's like, yeah, I like that. I'm going to put that in the shelf and we will get to that accordingly.
I'm going to put it in my notes app.
It's so funny.
And then actually execute it. But, just some creatives are like, yeah.
No, I'm learning about myself, John. I'm learning that I'm actually the inspiration or the idea will come to me and I will immediately dick it down. Ooh, I said it. But like immediately I'm like,
You said dick it down?
I did say dick it down.
So I need some clarity. Does dick it down mean you took good care of it, or does dick it down mean now get out of here?
Yeah, it's like I'm like,
I hear that two
get
ways.
out of here. It's good. I'm glad you hear it two ways because it could be a good thing. It really could. You know, you could dig it down and it's really nice.
I thought it was a good thing up until now. Okay. Up until right now, it was.
It was good. Now I'm reusing it, repurposing it.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, and I'm learning. How about that? I am learning that I am the type of person who will get inspiration or get an idea, and my brain will immediately just, hey, well, how do you think that you can even accomplish that?
Yeah.
Huh? How?
You start to analyze it
Immediately. And so it's funny because like sometimes it'll be in a way that's sneaky. Like the idea will come and I'll say, and my brain will say, oh yeah, this is a great idea. Once you do it, then you'll become famous and Oprah will call you. And once Oprah calls you, could you know what's going to happen? Your like whole world is going to blow up. Like, oh my gosh, you are about to rock everybody's world. And that is like, no, it's going to be great. Just go in the studio, get it done, whatever it is, make the video. All we have to do is wait for a sunny day. No, it's sunny right now. Go right now. And I'm like, well, but I'm eating grits right now. And maybe I don't want Oprah to call right now. And then it just doesn't.
What am I going to say to Oprah?
I know, what am I going to say? I'm not ready for Oprah. And it just doesn't matter. I'm learning that that's the type of person I was.
You have.
And right. And I'm learning how to get out of that because it's very stifling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds. Yeah. I think my brain goes right to, oh, how do you make this happen? I don't know. Somebody or somehow it'll just kind of. I don't know. I get so caught up in like, oh man, this one time I had a fantasy for like 3 weeks straight, and it was so much fun. It was just an award show, and it was all like people of color award show, and it'd be in the Twin Cities, and it'd be like, all these things, and I just was like, oh man, this is yeah. Oh, wait till this happens. Yeah, and then after a while, I was like, there's no need. I don't need to do this.
You convince yourself out of it.
No, I think after 3 weeks, I like looked at it. It was like, I don't need to do that. I think I enjoy the elements of it that I'll take and apply it to something else. But the idea of an award show, just producing that's not in my heart. But I would love to go to that award show I had a fantasy about for 3 weeks straight. That's a lot of fun. And I mean, I think how it gets done, why I don't get caught up in that is because like, oof, man, I don't know, man. There's too many details about too many things.
So I have this is making me wonder about just the way that people's individual brains work. So some people are very good at having ideas, like John, you were just saying, you had a great idea, but then they don't love the production and like execution process of it. And my brain is the opposite. So I feel like I don't have genius ideas. And even if I do, maybe I'm a little bit like what Shannon was describing. I'm just like, yeah, no. Or for some reason, the blank canvas freaks me out. But if you were to come to me with your idea and give me just like a piece of it, like John telling me, I want to do an award show. I'm like, oh, great, let's go. Yeah. And then I go and I could produce the whole thing. I love production. Yeah. But for some reason, like that initial like the idea phase freaks me out. Like it's the blank canvas freaks me out, but you put one mark on a canvas and I'm like, oh yeah, we can work with this.
Yeah. I'm learning.
So our brains are made up so differently.
Yes. Well, and I'm learning that there are people like you out there who have this like drive to produce, and I'm starting to surround myself more with those people because it's interesting. You're talking about the way people's brains work. It's interesting how many times I've been around friends or even just people I know and dropped some sort of like, oh yeah, I've sort of been thinking about this thing. And people are like, we can produce that. Well, that's amazing. Like we can make that happen. Are you interested in it? I'm interested in helping. And I don't know. I have this vision right now of like, I think maybe I'm missing the holidays. We haven't put up a tree and I haven't heard very much Christmas music yet. But so I'm imagining that I'm a very lazy Santa, like, and I'm sitting in I'm sitting in my sleigh, and I'm like, man, these gifts need to get delivered. And like Rudolph is like, I got you. I'm gonna put a harness on.
Let's go.
And I'm gonna like hook it to your sleigh. And I'm like, oh man, like I don't know, it can't be like one reindeer. Don't worry, I have friends. Dasher and Rudolph, whatever they are, right? Mark and Dave and Stacy and LaQuisha. Like, come.
Jose, Juan, Maria.
Yes. Thank you. Hook onto this sleigh. This sleigh is dope, yeah? And then we take off, and I'm like, this is cool, man. This is cool. Like, but people like want to help.
The wind, hair in the wind and shit. You're like, oh, that's dope.
It's a cool idea, man.
Yeah.
So you feel maybe both of you feel a sense of you like to do projects with people, and maybe that's I'm guessing, but like if I'm hearing you right, you too, Elise, like you hear others' ideas and you go, boom, I could jump on that.
Yeah.
It isn't that like your ideas are like whatever, but you're just like, oh, this is an opportunity to collab, and that maybe gives you more, you just enjoy that more, and I think I do too. Like, who doesn't love working with like fun people that you enjoy? That's the best.
Yeah.
I have a question. Okay, so one of the things that I am I'll say struggling. I'm struggling with is when Jose hitches his harness on and hitches it to my sleigh. He's like, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to award, or I don't feel, when someone gives you something and you're like, I don't deserve that thing, whatever it is, I don't feel like I deserve that help. And I want to give that reindeer something. But my question is, like, how does it feel when you hitch your sleigh, when you are the reindeer and you're dragging this sleigh? How does that make you feel? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling excited?
That's so good. That's so good. I think that there's definitely, at least for me, John, you let me know what you think, because I feel like John was the first person that even brought up this podcast to me. And I had thought about podcasts before, but I did the thing that I do, which is to podcasts. Like, I can't start that by myself. I can't start it. The moment John said, let's do a podcast, I was like, let's go. I'm getting the software. I'm doing everything. Let's go. Right. And I think that initially there's always like a wanting to take more responsibility, that like, okay, I thank you for doing this. I'm in gratitude, but I want to do more. And there's definitely some sort of guilt of like, somebody's doing this for me. But I think that, in my spiritual journey, at least, I'm a person who's very universe. Like, my higher power is the universe and the divine. Right. And I've done a lot of reading and soul searching and meditating, and the universe wants to help you. God, or whoever your God is, if you have a God, right? Maybe you don't. If you believe in a doorknob, whatever, the doorknob wants to help you. And if you don't give the doorknob the opportunity, or if you don't give the universe the opportunity, then you're not doing service to the doorknob or the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if John says to me, let's do a podcast, and I feel like, oh my gosh, like, what if he feels like he has to carry me, and what if all of these things? It's just like an improv scene, right? Like, in an improv scene, we're helping each other. But if I do too much of the work, or if I do too little of the work, then it's off equilibrium.
It's interesting.
So like, we want to help each other. So I feel like we have to let each other help, and let the other person feel the goodness of giving and the goodness of serving as well. That's all wonderful, but it's hard to practice.
I am hearing So while you're speaking, I'm thinking, or I'm hearing like, oh, but my next question is, what can John do to let you know that you're appreciated? Like what? Like I'm trying to like get a thing out of you. But even as you were getting to the end, I was like, and the doorknob especially, thinking about, oh, we're both, you, Elise and John, are both in service of the doorknob. Right? It's not that you're in service of each other. You're in service of the project, right? Yeah. And that's a big thing for me to even come to. I don't think I had come to that yet at all. But so I launched a business, right? So I launched improv on and off the stage. Yay, hooray. It was great. The launch was lots of fun.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for being a part of it.
Thank you. It was great. We had a great time. It was so much fun. It
was great. I had this identity thing, though, this slay thing, where I thought to myself, man, wouldn't it be cool to... I've been, for years now, been thinking about, wouldn't it be cool to launch this business? And it just so happened that things shifted and things were right. And I had a whole bunch of, I'm just going to drive this metaphor into the ground, but I had a whole bunch of reindeer that were like, this is the best. This is the best. And I wish I had spoken to you first, Elise, for this feeling that I've had, because this whole time I've really been thinking, how can I serve these reindeer? How can I serve these reindeer? Like they're helping me so much. What can I give them? What can I give them? And if I had shifted my thought to, oh, I don't need to serve them. Both of us, all of us are in service of this project. And then
something but bigger than us.
Yes, it's bigger. And if I could have, I think I would have, I don't know. I think I might have actually gone about it a little bit differently as far as my leadership goes and what I wanted. If I had really dug into, we are all in service of the doorknob. We are all in service of getting these gifts out to the people. This is what we're in service of. We're not necessarily in service of each other. I think that would have changed my my approach and what I took away from the actual event. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Y'all are good.
Man.
That's helpful.
That's deep. That's real deep, because I think sometimes people get they can get caught up in a lot of that area of how do I show up for my reindeer? How do I make sure that I'm also carrying some of the workload? I want to make sure that they feel like I'm right there each step of the way. But it's wild, because we could never do that for a scripted show piece, right? If you are cast to be a part of a scripted show, you got to know your lines. You got to stay to your role.
Everybody has a role, right?
Everybody's got a role. You can't jump in the tech booth and be on stage, and it's just it's impossible. So I think when I think of projects whatever, any project, I always think back to the one or two plays that I did. One of them was A Midsummer Night's Dream, where I played Francis Flute, the bellows mender. I did not, the cast did not appreciate me. I made them break, and I thought I was doing good by making them break, but turns out they don't like that. They don't like that funny business, and...
Throw an improviser into a theater, a real union theater, and you're about to find out where the actors are.
I learned the term upstage doing that play. The director was like, she was from Australia. John, have you heard of upstage? No. Well, you're really taking the focus. Oh, well, I thought it was funny. It is just, they'll take all the focus.
Stop it.
Yep. And I was tired of learning so much. Okay, blocking. Then there's this term. And then it was my first play. Up to that point, I didn't never do no play, so I learned a lot about actors and that world. My God. I mean, I get it. It ain't easy. But man,
Anyways. John, so no more plays for you? Is that what I'm hearing?
Not for a while. Man, right. It's a lot of pieces for and I guess I didn't even know what the hell that play was talking about the whole time. Like I had to. I don't know what the hell Shakespeare's saying, but I will say I had a good time.
Good.
It was a lot of fun.
Good.
But I learned about how everybody's got a role, and you got to be at your places, got to be at your mark, and then you get out, and then somebody else comes in. But it's different though with you, Shannon, because you're like, everything is kind of like orbiting around you with your project. It's kind of,
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, like, to hear you talk about that as different, right? Because even in that space, the play is what you're in service of, right? That the director,
Yes.
you're talking about having roles, and everyone does. Like I the page. I'm not going to get into the lighting booth or whatever, whatever, but. The more I sit in this right now, this podcast right now, I'm like, whoa, I did not expect to come and learn, but I am learning. The more I sit in it, hey, like somebody call him Shakespeare, call it the director of that play, whoever wanted to put it on, right?
He created it.
Yes. And so now we all fall. We're the bunnies, right? It's like, oh, I'm here. I auditioned. I want to be here. And whether
We're the bunnies.
we're the bunnies. We're the bunnies.
All of us are the bunnies.
We are.
Holy shit. We're fucking bunnies.
I'm fucking bunnies. Nah, that doesn't sound right. I am a bunny. I'm a fucking bunny.
We're fucking bunnies.
I'm giving these bunnies the D. I'm D'ing them down. I'm digging down the bunnies. It ain't even Easter. It's Christmas.
The name of this episode is going to be
Digging Down Bunnies.
KN Bunnies.
Bunnies. I'm learning it. I'm learning that we are all in service of the project, right? And and that can take all sorts of different roles and looks and vibes and whatnot. But what I'm hearing also from the both of you is improv is definitely, right? It very clearly in service of a scene. We are working all together to try and build a thing. Whereas like with a play, I would think the difference would be, we already sort of know what's going to happen. We may be in service of the project, but when we're in it, we're like, I mean, this project looks the same every time. And maybe it's touching people, maybe it's blah, 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 whatever. But it's sort of it's beyond you. Like it's already built.
Yeah.
Like the thing is already built. But we get a really nice sense in improv of what it's like to build together right here in the moment, in service of each other, in service of the project, all the things that we're keeping our eye on, is really an interesting, I mean, that's why, and you both know you love improv. That's why I love improv, because it's like, oh, we are building this together right now. Like right now we are building it. And right now people are being touched by what we are doing right now in this moment. I'm like,
and
really?
it's all happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I like the analogy, John's analogy in general, to apply that to creative projects, because the actors come in, they want to be there they audition. Like everybody is there because they want to be there in that specific role. Like you were saying, John, you audition to be an actor. You want to direct because you are a director. So you want to direct. You want to be in tech because you're somebody who does tech, right? So you want to be in tech. You want to stage manage because you are a stage manager. So it applies the same thing for your project, Shannon, or your business, excuse me, and where it's like people are there because they are this and they want to do this.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's Shannon leading it or it's a theater, right? That's an established theater.
There's some respect there. Like as I'm trying to like pull an answer out of you, like, what can I do to make you feel valuable? Like, I think it's some of it is like respect, like just respecting you and respecting the reindeer for what the reindeer brings. Like being grateful, yes, but also creating environments for that reindeer to succeed, right? Like, how do I want you to be the best light tech. I want you to be the best event planner. I want you to be the best, sound person, whatever it is. Because you're bringing that to me, I want you to be the best at it because we're serving this project. How then I can sort of wire my thinking. Because really what I think is like, so base level, I'm not going to think base level anymore, but like, I'm thinking like, what plaque can I get you that says, Elise is the shit? Like where can I find the thing? Where can I find the little, a pin? Oh, I know. John wants an enamel pin that says, that's a picture of whatever it is. Like, no, nobody wants that shit. They don't want it with that.
Yeah.
They want respect for their work and a space to create, right? That's what it sounds like. That's what I'm learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A space to create is huge.
Oh, and also the freedom to whatever make their title, however they want to be labeled or whatever title they want. I love watching people just like create their own title. We're in the business of, especially you two and me. Like I feel like we have different roles for different projects, but ultimately with some of them we take on some sort of leadership of a project, and with that becomes management of people, and that's all for the most part. We don't have props. We don't got it's mainly just people. And then when you have people, then it becomes a balancing act of how do I maintain my focus on what I'm trying to accomplish, what is my goal here, how do I give to the project as a whole with clarity and not burn out. Also, how do I step back from it and assess like the players, seeing like what they need, making sure that they're feeling like you're talking about, like feeling respected and all that, but also making sure that they feel challenged. Like if you notice that they can do more. Right. There's that like internal like conversation we have to have, like, am I about to exploit this person? No.
Yes, there's that.
I'm not going to exploit them.
No, I'm not.
Right.
I said no, that's not. No, but it's tricky because you're like, they probably don't know that there's more that they could do. But if I tell them that, am I now just exploiting them? Because they're doing
the thing. Yeah.
They're doing the thing, and it's been, there's a lot of passion behind a lot of the projects that we have. So that was always like a big learning thing for me. It was like, oh yeah, I can offer up that as an option if people want it, and then get out of their way. If they pick it up, great. If they don't, great. Man, I like what you're saying though about, it wants to be in service of you. I never thought about it like that. The doorknob, the universe, the thing.
Yeah, because I know that people, like, not everybody is going to say, well, I believe in the universe, or I believe in God, or I believe in Jesus, or I believe in whatever. I believe in some shit out there.
Yeah.
But some people don't. So sometimes you just have to choose, this is the thing I'm going to do this for right now.
Yeah. Wow. It's pretty mystic. This is a mystic episode. It's a very mystic, spiritual vibes.
That's the name of the episode. Mystic fucking bunnies.
What?
Mystic fucking bunnies.
This is a very spiritual episode. A lot of these things are hitting hard. Yeah. Hitting me in the chest chakra. It's not a chakra. It's not a chakra.
The heart chakra. Okay.
Chakra.
It's hit me in the old pectoral chakra. No, I really am vibing with a lot of this, letting it be in service to you. That's big. So yeah, tell me what have you learned about managing people? Because that's like what your project is essentially. Even though you had reindeers, right? Somebody has to say like, okay, well, we can do this, but here's the vision that I have. Here's where we're going. Here's where I feel good. Here's where that's what you had to do. You had to set the parameters so people can be like, great. Love it. Let's make it happen.
So that's a lovely question. I'm going to be very honest and say that I didn't manage these people. And if I did, it wasn't very well. I think I'll also be honest in saying, I think this is the most I've debriefed about that process with anyone else other than saying to people like, it went well. Yeah, so great. So lovely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a good question. I honestly, with this launch, this event, it was an online event, and it took about 3 months to put into practice, to put up.
So
Yeah.
I let's get into that then.
Okay.
Let's talk about what this was, but first tell us what is improv on and off stage before the initial project. Like, what is the bunny?
What is the bunny?
Right?
Okay. Yes. So I've been working on like condensing. Let's see if I get it. So improv on and off the stage is a virtual improv studio that provides resources to performers and non-performers so that they can become who they want to be on and off the stage. All right. So that's the like.
Yeah. That's Hello. Is that Oprah calling? Wow.
What's she calling? I'm not ready. No, I'm ready. I'm ready. So good. So that's the like condensed version. The less condensed version is the less condensed Shannon version is that I want to give people resources to become better improvisers. And I want people who are not improvisers not to be able to have those same resources and have them affect them in their day to day. So that's what I want. I also, I want to elevate improv. I think improv is amazing. It teaches you beautiful things about yourself and your relationships and how you can move through the world with confidence, or even how you can move through the world with just being aware, with awareness of yourself and others. I mean, just saying a little while ago, for me to say, these are the reindeers, Jack and Jill and Shaniqua. And then for you to come in and say, Jose and Maria, and like that is a huge, how do we move through the world so we are aware of the people we're around and relate to them and not erase them, right? Like Jack, who's Jack and Jill? Like we know them from like one thing, right?
Yeah.
But like just to be able to use improv to make space for people, make room, not be surprised by, a friend of mine always says, it takes too much energy to be surprised. And I love that. I think they're a genius, this person, Sophia Portier.
I gotta deconstruct that one.
Yes.
It takes energy to be surprised.
Yeah, it takes too much energy to be surprised. And improv will help you not be surprised all the time by the things that are around you. Anyway, so that's what I want. That's what improv on and off the stage is. It's this virtual improv studio. It provides resources. And
so the event, event that you just did was a launch.
Yes. So it was an official launch. So I've been producing improv videos, YouTube videos. I've been on Instagram. I've been doing little bits and pieces of what I can to get sort of these resources out there. And it, like I said, the tides turned, right? So for some, this being in quarantine has been terrible, and our hearts go out to those people. For me, it has also not been great, but as far as buckling down and launching this business, it really has been effective, and it's been a good time. It's been a good time, in huge air quotes, good, because it gave me the opportunity to reach out to people when I wouldn't have. It gave me the opportunity for people all over the world to reach out to me when they might not have. And these people came out of the woodwork. My friend Yinka Freeman, who lives in San Diego, I was like randomly talking to her. Oh yeah, I want to open this business. And she was like, why? Now is the time to do that. Now she's an event planner. I'm going to take the reins on the event planning part. I need this, and this from you. Go. And that this, and this, I couldn't provide her with. So I would have conversations. Oh, my friend says, like, this is like my Santa voice. Like my Santa voice. Oh, my friend says, like, I need this, this, and this. Man, I wish I could get it to her. And people would be like, I know how to get that, right? I can get that for you right now. And they would go get it. And then they would tell their friends how to. So I had all these people just working with me. And then to get back to the very first question, John, which was, how did you manage these people? I think because I was so stifled by, what do I owe you? What do I owe you? Like, you're doing all this work for me. What do you need? Like, what enamel pin do I need to get you? What baked good do I need to send you? Like, I was so involved like that, like, in my mind, that I didn't manage very well. Now, that being said, I happen to know some amazing frickin' people, right? Yeah. So they really just managed themselves. And I think the thing that I learned, I mean, and I don't know if I even learned it before us sitting here. Like, I don't think I really learned that lesson. No one had asked me, how did you manage these people? It's like, I think I learned that next time, because there will be a next time. It won't be another launch, obviously, but it'll be another event, that I have a better idea of what the vision is and what I need from specific people and how I can better respect, right, and value them as people who are doing their best, their jobs. So yeah.
That's cool, man. That's so great.
What if that, because I've been processing everything that we've been talking about. And what if that thing that you mentioned earlier, that you were like, what do I do? What baked good, right? What thing do I need to do to show them that I'm appreciative and grateful for them? What if the thing that you can do is simply, like you mentioned earlier, the respect, and we brought in this whole thing with a play that's scripted and is produced and it's like a turnkey project, right? What if that thing that you can do is simply, how can I make you in your role? How can I make this role more fulfilling for you? Right? How can I, just the respect for what they're doing, because I think, like, how can I make it more streamlined? How can I make it more rewarding for you to do what you came here to do? What if that's the thing? I don't know.
That's a perfect thing, because we do that. I did that for the attendees of the event, right? As far as the people who just participated or like came to the event, I asked them, right? What does a better event look like for you, right? And so Elise, I didn't know I was going to learn, but why keep my focus so narrow on those people? I need to widen my focus and ask the people who were actually there helping, to ask John.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
We're going to do the scene right now.
As a panelist, right? As a panelist who attended and...
I'm about to do a survey, y'all. Right? Let's do this survey. Let's do it. Let's do a feedback survey. Let's get it.
Right here, right now. What could I have done, and what can I do to serve you, or have you better, have you feel the best as the best panelist on another panel? Because I'd love to invite you back.
Oh man, there's nothing. I would say there's nothing you could do to make me feel. I felt so welcome. I felt at home. I felt comfortable. I felt all the pieces were there. I think at a certain point it can get a little too formulaic, like, so I don't mind if people like do things like that where they're like, okay, these are the questions we are going to hit. Let me know if, these are, you don't want these, but these are what I'm trying to tackle. If and I've had that before where people just like write out like, here's the questions we're going to get to. And, and it's like
going on Jimmy Fallon's show, where it's like, you tell this story that you've now told 8 times. And we're going to pretend we never heard it.
And I think for panels, that's, I like that you had, you had bullet points that you wanted to hit. And I think that was really good to just let that be what it is. You ask those questions, you offer them up. And I think in in real time, I saw your magic. So all the stuff prepping beforehand, I felt very like comfortable. I felt good. There's not really much else beforehand I would want from you. I feel like that was actually just enough. So the only thing I would say, the only feedback I that might be useful, might not be useful, but I'm one of those people that if I get an email, like most people, if it's got a lot of words in it, if it's got a lot of words, I hate to be that person, but if it's got a lot of words and it's going to make me have to deconstruct or dissect or like figure out like what, where, because, we all get a lot of emails all the time. We're having to like piece through them, and that's on me. But I will say, like, just because of the nature of, you were trying to set up a new platform. This isn't Zoom. This isn't, it was like going to a whole new world. So there were tech rehearsals that were happening. And that I felt like, am I supposed to be at these? I don't know if did I sign up to be at these tech rehearsals? I felt horrible, and I kept missing them because I was like, God damn it, there's a tech rehearsal happening right now, but I'm teaching. What did I miss something? So that would be the only thing that I would say is like that part. But like like everybody else, you're figuring out the platform. I think there's a lot of things being like figured out. So I didn't get an email that said, hey, John, you missed this tech rehearsal. I would appreciate it if you can. So that let me know, like, I'm fine, but I did get the sense of like, oh, shit, did I fail you? Because I didn't show up to the tech rehearsal. But because you didn't say, like, John, I need you to be at this thing, I was like, oh, I'm not failing. But, yeah. At any time that I saw that on the calendar, and I was like, God damn.
John. Ask her for a baked good.
Oh, yeah. I like cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
I like cheesecake.
I'll get my mom to make you a cheesecake. She makes the best cheesecakes on the whole planet.
Oh, okay, good. And my reaction is good. I go, so good. I got no other feedback. It was really good, really, really well done. And I think, well, all right. So here's what I saw. I saw you go into this really cool virtual like space. Like you can move from table to table. Like imagine going to like a banquet or like a reception, a wedding reception, and everybody's got like tables, and you know what I mean. You're like, oh look, there's a bunch of douchebags over at that table. Some cool people at this table. At a wedding reception, you're just like, fuck, where am I gonna sit? Where are they gonna sit me? And it felt like that. Yeah. Like you can see the entire layout, like the way Sims, that game, like you can see the neighborhood, or you can see like how people go room to room. You can see I don't think you. Yeah, I'm not a tiny avatar. You don't make tiny avatars, but at the table you have little photo headshots of people who are at the table and their name. So I can see if Allsay's at this table. I don't know. I'm gonna go to this table because I know Allsay. Fuck what you heard. I don't know. It's probably gonna be some like South African women, who do improv. It's people from all over the world there, and then it's really nice. I remember I got there early, and then I saw this black dude, and he was just like sitting at a table. I went to that table, and then your camera goes on, and then I'm like there, and I'm like, hey, what's up, buddy? He's like, hey, what's up, man? And I'm like, yep, yeah, no, I read the calendar wrong, and I'm here early. And he's like, all right. All right.
This really sounds like a wedding reception.
Yeah. And
amazing.
I've never seen nothing like that in this virtual space. It was really cool.
That's
and
really
I knew
cool.
like everybody would be very sweet, and it's improv, folks. There's no weirdos like that. But it was like, wow, I never experienced nothing like this in my life. This is pretty hype. This is pretty cool. And then Shannon taught a workshop. I'm gonna keep on going, and it was so cool to be in that workshop because it was like, we've done Zoom workshops before, but I haven't seen a workshop like this where it's like the breakout rooms are going to be go to a table, make a friend, like in real giant improv workshops where there's like 40, 50 plus. You're just like, all right, section off, figure it out. And it was like that. And then going to those tables, making acquaintances, it was cool because we've all done workshops online, and breakout rooms are fine. But this was like, oh, I had the autonomy to go to this table. I see Allsay at this table. I'm going to this table. I'm going to do some bits because I see Allsay already there. You know, as opposed to like breakout rooms, you're just like, I don't know who I'm going to get. I'm probably going to get some, 50-year-old white guy that's going to jaw jack me, talk at me the whole time during this breakout. I'm not going to say nothing because he wants to like talk about some gripe he's got at work with some coworker. I don't know, interpersonal relationship problems.
At the water cooler.
At the water cooler.
Oh my God.
But this, but this was nice. I was like, I'm gonna go to this table. It looks like it's, and it was easy to use. There was no tech issues. I felt like it was smooth. It was seamless. You know, if you know how to use Zoom, you know how to use this space. You're an amazing facilitator, and that made it so easy. You're already likable, and you're already fucking likable. You're already likable.
Very. I'm just gonna say she's very likable because
so likable.
I told you from the beginning before I even met her, I was like, I love her.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Shannon! Shannon has that like really cool superpower that is like, oh, you meet Shannon and you're like, oh, this is like a friend I've had for a long time. You instantly feel like, oh man, I feel like we've been cool for a long time. So because you were doing that with the whole event, you're right. It wasn't the Shannon Stott improv event. It was, and so I don't know, one day down the road, you probably will find someone else to also compliment you or have someone else, manage these events. So that is one thing I observed. It was like, oh, that person that does facilitate it has to be, you set the standard, like the bar is set. And that says a lot about like what this event is. It is really cool. It is based on people, but the person, that centerpiece, that's you or whoever you choose, is that person has to have those chops. They got to know how to do it. And I think that was my takeaway. I was like, if Shannon, if this was another person, then I'm just thinking of, this would not be as good, right? Because it's, you were the one that brought everybody there and made everybody feel like, hey, we're all on the same playing field here. There's no, none of this extra.
She was Santa Claus. She was able to just be Santa Claus.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I am learning that when people say those things about me, they are being genuine. And it's
thought I just made that up for no fucking reason. What a weird.
He's like, oh, now I gotta bullshit.
Yeah, let me go ahead and bullshit to Shannon.
She's on my fucking show, and now I gotta
make up some bullshit to appease her ego. No, but it's true, right?
What a long con. What a long con.
I know you, John. I know you, John. You're a long con artist. That's how it's the long game for John. It's the long game.
A friend.
You know what else sounds cool about this, though? Just because of the fact that it is what it is. It's a virtual space. You mentioned how you saw someone at the table that you knew and you went to that table. What's also amazing is that we are in a virtual space right now. We've been in a virtual space for nearly a year now. And we've seen people in improv shows, just like we see them in live festivals, right? We've seen them at improv shows, and maybe there's somebody at a table that you don't know personally, but you saw them in a virtual improv show, or you have seen something online about them and you're like, hey, I recognize this name. I'm going to go meet them. It's much easier than in person anyway.
Yeah, it was.
So that's cool.
It was cool. John and the rest of the panelists sat at a table together, and I'm like using my bunny air quote fingers, but they sat at a table together so that people could talk to them. I don't know if anybody did, but
they did.
Did they really? That is.
Oh my wow. Yeah, I'll say this. There was some fangirling going on for Jill, per usual. Jill Bernard, beloved. So I just jumped in there. I was like, well, this is none of that energy's for me, but I'm here. I'm here though. I'm listening to it.
It was like the tech rehearsal. You're like, am I supposed to be here?
Yeah, she was, oh my God, I'm just fangirling over here, you know, and you too, John. You too, John. It was very amazing. And it's just really, you know, and it was really cool. I did feel like, oh, this is just like after anything. Like when people come and talk to you after anything, it was exactly that feeling of like,
that's cool.
People just want to share thoughts or ideas or that questions. Really, just want to talk at you, and that's good.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. I was hoping to
smart.
Get that gap. If people to do exactly what you said, Elise, which is, you know, if you've seen them or you've heard of them, well, here they are. You just go talk to them, right? People had that option. So in the future, I will be doing more of that. Yeah, this is good.
And the Zoom feels impersonal, right?
Yes.
Like if I have a big experience in this room right now, and then I'm like, all right, bye. And then it's this awkward lagging. Everybody's just trying to click the button after they're like, okay. All right, bye. Right. It's just becomes like, and now I'm sitting here having been moved or having had whatever feelings or emotions or enlightenments that I just had. And I'm just like, all right,
by yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I'm hoping to, and the reason, or one of the reasons at least, for I don't even know, did I already say this? Anyway, so I have another event coming up. It's like in January, in March, end of March. But I'm hoping to do a 3-day event. And to your point, that feeling of, I did something in my workshop and I want to talk to people about it. I'm hoping that I put a lot of those types of times and spaces, give space for people just to hang out at a table together, in a lounge together. You know, we just took this workshop. That's great. I want to hang out with you and debrief, or I want to know what happened in the other workshop. So I'm going to go over to that table or that lounge and see what's going on there. So I'm hoping to pull some more stuff like that in. But yeah, it was this. So good. This has been this talking about it is really great for me, just because I mean, the event was great. And I think I said this earlier in this show, but I definitely learned a lot leading up to it. And then the event itself, I felt like, this is good. Yeah, sure. But now after sitting with you both and thinking about it, especially thinking about the parts of where people were helping to create this, because it just was not a one-person thing, right? It just could not have been. I mean, people were up. I was getting text messages at like 1 or 2 in the morning, the morning before, just people telling me, hey, I got your website up. I had to fix a couple of things. Oh, hey, by the way, I got your font, the font that you want. I got that. Yeah. I got that going. Hey, blah, blah, blah. You know, the sound is going to be great. I got this hooked up to. I was laying in bed, dog.
That's incredible.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. Like, I can't tell you. And I know we're improv. Sneakerheads, improv heads, improv junkies. Yeah. I don't know what we call them. Like
improv nerds or something.
Right?
Improv geeks.
So I get that this is all we talk about, right? It's like improv. But the thing is that that scene, that event could not have been done. I could not have done that by myself. Not in a way that's like, I had employees and blah, 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 blah. But no. From beginning to end, from inception to this, like, I could not, there's no way that I would have been able to orchestrate all of that by myself in the manner that it came. I mean, people were talking to me about, make sure you look into the camera, make sure, and they were telling me what they wanted to see and how I affect them as a person and how they wanted to see that come across into the camera and stuff like that. I wouldn't have thought of. I wouldn't have thought of stuff like that. So,
because we're not supposed to think of all that by ourselves.
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
We're supposed to lean on each other for that to make each other better. And again, I just don't want to reference improv again.
Right.
But
But
that's
it's
the
true.
point.
That's
Or
the
I do
whole
want to reference
point,
improv.
right? That's the whole
Yeah.
point of improv. And I think that's one of the reasons why it is difficult for me sometimes to like, what do you want? What can I give you? Right. I do have to, I have to go back because on stage in a scene, we don't, I'm not looking at you, John, like, we just did that scene together, or even in the scene. Like, what do you want, John? Like, what can I, I'm not doing that there. You're just
No,
both.
we're loving on each other.
Yes.
Right? That's all that we do after is we just love on each other.
We love on each other. So yeah, I've learned a lot just from obviously my own experience, improv experience, but this conversation,
Yeah.
everybody gets a enamel pin. That's
Yeah.
John, ask her for another pastry.
Okay. I like cheesecake again.
Two cheesecakes.
Two cheesecake.
Got it, Mom.
And when I taste it, I will say, this is delicious. Who made this?
And it'll be my Shannon's mommy.
Shannon, mommy. That's really awesome. I think that I think there's something to be said about like this new virtual space that we're in. You're pioneering in that world, and kind of like shaping that and leading and kind of like making a whole new mold for everybody to kind of look to and be like, oh, this is a great example that reaches beyond Zoom, and it really connects people. And in terms of like projects and stuff, like we've all done, but I think I hear you now more so like because it's like pioneering in a new world. You're like, fuck. Well, this team, and it is the team that you have that really that's a really good team. You had a great team because everything was on point. Everything was clicking away. I mean, there was no dumb moments, just like those moments where you're just like, did no one thought this through?
No one thought of that. No one saw that coming.
cut to John at every other event. He's sitting at his computer. Well, that was dumb.
That was dumb. No one thought of that. That was stupid.
You did, 'cause
this is it's interesting. You said your team was great, and what is interesting about that is yes, they are. Also, you both now are part of that team, right?
Shit, you better believe I'm part of that team now. I'm ready. I want to be part of the team.
You are part of the team.
Some shit.
Just wait, Elise, wait. We don't know what this entails. Wait, hold on.
No, that's the whole point. That's the
Elise,
whole point.
you're now going to be baking cheesecakes.
I'm sorry. We took it away from my mom. It's you. You're my mom. You're my cheesecake mom now.
Give me the pastry chef.
That feeling of not even feeling the very fact that you both are doing a podcast and invited me onto the podcast and created a space where I could talk about my business, my whatever all this journey is. That's being part of the team, right?
Yeah.
The team is all the places that people open doors and serve the doorknob. We must serve the doorknob.
I have goosebumps. We are fucking bunnies.
We are bunnies, my friends.
To learn more about improv on and off the stage, visit shannonstott.com. You can find all of our links and info in the episode details. Stay tuned for part 2 as we continue our conversation with Shannon Stott and go further into the bunny hole. Bunny, 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 bunny. Toki, 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 toki. Bunny, 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 bunny. Toki, 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 toki. Bunny, bunny.